The most dangerous prison in the modern world does not have iron bars, armed guards, or razor wire fences. It does not require a judge to sentence you, and it does not require a jury to convict you. This prison is invisible, silent, and terrifyingly comfortable. It is a prison of your own design, built brick by brick with every notification you check, every video you scroll through, and every cheap hit of dopamine you willingly ingest. You are not just the prisoner, you are also the warden. You hold the key in your hand, yet you refuse to turn it because you have forgotten what lies on the other side of the door. We live in an era where we are drowning in information, but starving for wisdom, where we are hyper-connected to everyone, but utterly disconnected from ourselves. Consider Sam. He is a young man in his late 20s, possessing an intellect that should be capable of moving mountains. He's a writer, a creator, a man with a vision of a book that could define his generation. But Sam is a casualty of the invisible war. His days are a blur of frantic, shallow activity. He wakes up and immediately reaches for the glowing rectangle on his nightstand, flooding his unready brain with the anxieties of the world, the curated perfection of strangers, and the chaotic noise of the news cycle. He sits at his desk to work, but within minutes, a phantom itch crawls across his mind. The silence of the room feels heavy, oppressive, almost violent. He opens a new tab. He checks his email. He watches a 10-second video that turns into an hour of mindless consumption. He feels busy. He feels exhausted. He tells himself he is working hard. But at the end of the day, when the sun sets and the shadows lengthen across his floor, the page is still blank. Sam is trapped in the loop of fake productivity, a hamster running on a wheel fueled by cheap dopamine, sweating and bleeding, but going absolutely nowhere. Now, cast your mind back over a century to a different kind of man, a man who existed in a world before the noise took over. Picture Nikola Tesla. He was not a man of tabs and notifications. He was a man of the ether, of lightning, and of absolute, terrifying focus. Tesla did not just work. He entered a state of being that most modern humans will never experience. He would walk through the streets of Budapest reciting poetry when suddenly the solution to the rotating magnetic field would strike him like a thunderbolt. He did not need to check a device to see if his idea was valid. He did not need the validation of a like or a comment. He would retreat into the sanctuary of his own mind, sitting in perfect stillness for hours, sometimes days, visualizing every screw, every coil, every vibration of a machine before he ever sketched a single line on paper. While Sam's mind is a chaotic marketplace screaming for attention, Tesla's mind was a cathedral, silent, vast, and sacred. The difference between Sam and Tesla is not merely a matter of IQ or talent. It is a difference of neurochemistry and spiritual discipline. Sam is an addict. His drug of choice is novelty. Every time he sees a red notification badge, his brain releases a tiny squirt of dopamine, the same chemical that drives a gambler to pull the lever on a slot machine. He is conditioning himself to despise boredom. He is training his brain to fear the void. But Tesla understood a truth that we have forgotten. Boredom is not the enemy. Boredom is the threshold. It is the dark, muddy water you must swim through to reach the clear blue ocean of creativity. Tesla embraced the solitude that Sam runs from. Tesla knew that to bring something new into the world, you must first subtract the world from your mind. Sam eventually reaches a breaking point. The book is not written. His relationships are fraying because he is physically present but mentally absent. He meets an old mentor, a man who has lived through the transition from the analog age to the digital apocalypse. This mentor does not offer Sam a new app to manage his time. He does not give him a productivity hack. He looks Sam in the eye and offers him a challenge that sounds deceptively simple, but is psychologically excruciating. He tells Sam to go into a room with nothing but a chair, a notebook, and a pen. No phone, no music, no books, no distractions. He tells him to sit there for 1 hour, just 1 hour. Sam laughs. He thinks it's a joke. 1 hour? He spends 10 hours a day on his computer. But when the door closes and the lock clicks, the reality sets in. The first 5 minutes are easy. He taps his pen. He looks at the ceiling. But then the withdrawal hits. It is physical. His hand twitches, reaching for a pocket that is empty. His mind begins to scream. It begs for stimulation. It throws up memories of embarrassment, fears of the future, random song lyrics, anything to avoid the silence. This is the dopamine detox. This is the brain throwing a tantrum because its steady supply of digital sugar has been cut off. Sam realizes with horror that he cannot be alone with his own thoughts. He is terrified of the stranger sitting in the chair, himself. Contrast this struggle with the discipline of Tesla. Tesla's life was a testament to the power of no. He said no to marriage. He said no to social climbing. He said no to financial stability if it meant compromising his vision. He lived in hotel rooms, dining alone, feeding pigeons, often ridiculed by the press. But in that solitude, he built the 20th century. He understood that energy, like water, must be channeled to be useful. If you punch holes in a pipe, the water pressure drops to a trickle. Sam's life is a pipe full of holes. Instagram, Netflix, news, texts, gossip. His energy leaks out everywhere, leaving nothing for the turbine of his ambition. Tesla sealed the pipe. He directed the entire torrent of his life force into a single point of focus. That is why he could light up the world, while Sam cannot even light up a page. In that empty room around the 30-minute mark, something shifts for Sam. The panic subsides, replaced by a dull ache of boredom. He stares at the wall. The wall is white. There's a crack in the paint. He watches a dust mote float in a sunbeam, and then the fog begins to lift. The brain, realizing no distraction is coming, stops fighting and starts working. It's a biological reset. Without the noise of the external world, the internal voice finally becomes audible. Ideas that had been drowned out by the static of the internet begin to bubble to the surface. Sentences form. Connections are made. The boredom, which felt like a cage, transforms into a canvas. Sam picks up the pen. He doesn't just write, he flows. This is the secret that the modern world hides from you. You do not need more motivation. You do not need more information. You need less. Success is not an act of addition. It is an act of subtraction. You cannot build a skyscraper on the foundation of quicksand. Every time you resist the urge to check your phone, you are laying a brick of concrete in your foundation. Every time you choose the pain of deep work over the pleasure of cheap distraction, you are sharpening the blade of your mind. Tesla did not have a smartphone, but he had a superpower that is now extinct, the ability to sustain attention on a single problem until it cracked open. We look at figures like Tesla or Da Vinci or Einstein, and we call them geniuses to let ourselves off the hook. We say, I could never do that. They were built differently. But that is a lie. They were human. They had the same 24 hours. They had the same biological impulses. The difference is that they protected their minds like a fortress. They did not let the world walk in with muddy boots and rearrange the furniture. Today, we invite the world into our bedrooms, our bathrooms, and our deepest moments of intimacy. We have sold our focus for the price of a free app. The outcome of Sam's hour in the room is not just a written chapter, it is the reclamation of his soul. He realizes that the itch to check his phone is not a command, it is a suggestion, and he has the power to decline it. He begins to practice the art of subtraction. He deletes the apps that don't serve him. He turns his phone grayscale to make it less stimulating. He schedules blocks of deep work where he is unreachable by anyone but God. And slowly, the fog clears. The anxiety that hummed in the background of his life begins to fade. He finishes the book. It is raw, it is real, and it connects with people because it came from a place of depth, not a place of distraction. But the lesson here is not just for writers, it is for you. You watching this right now. You are likely holding the very device that is enslaving you. You are probably thinking about checking the comments or seeing what video is next. Stop. Look at your life. Look at your dreams. Are they moving closer or are they staying on the horizon, always out of reach? If you want to achieve what the 1% achieve, you must be willing to do what the 99% refuse to do. You must be willing to be bored. You must be willing to be alone. You must cut the cords that tether you to the hive mind. Imagine if Tesla had spent his evenings scrolling through endless debates or watching cat videos. We likely would still be in the dark. What invention, what business, what relationship, what masterpiece is currently trapped inside of you, waiting for the noise to stop so it can be born? You are trading your legacy for pixels. You are trading your potential for a dopamine hit that lasts less than a second. The path to greatness is a lonely one. It requires you to walk into the empty room and sit in the chair. It requires you to face the demons of procrastination and the sirens of distraction. It will hurt. Your brain will fight you. It will feel like you are missing out on everything happening in the world, but that is the illusion. By engaging with everything, you are experiencing nothing. By disconnecting